Now, we have not yet heard from the Dunn family, but you did see Michael Dunn's father there listening to the charges, the verdicts being read with his head bowed. The Davis family, though, Jordan Davis's family, his parents spoke to our cameras, and Jordan Davis's mother, Lucia McBath, gave a powerful message.
It's been a long, long road, and we're so very happy to have just a little bit of closure. It's sad for Mr. Dunn that he will live the rest of his life in that sense of torment. And I will pray for him. And I've asked my family to pray for him. But we are so grateful for the charges that have been brought against him. We're so grateful for the truth. We're so grateful that the jurors were able to understand the common sense of it all. And we will continue to stand, and we will continue to wait for justice for Jordan.
During the trial, there was very little testimony about Jordan Davis just because of the nature of the proceedings, but his father wanted to say some things about his son.
It's been a long journey, about 450 days, and me and Lucy and our supporters have stood strong. I believe we've stood strong in the eyes of not only Jacksonville, not only Florida, not only the nation, but the world is looking at all of us here in Jacksonville. It's not in my nature, actually, to not lash out and to not say inflammatory statements or whatever. And I had to hold all that in because I think Jordan, my son, and Lucy's son deserve the best representation that he could have gotten as parents. And I thank you all for seeing that we as parents were good parents to Jordan, and that he was a good kid. It wasn't allowed to be said in the courtroom that he was a good kid, but we'll say it, he was a good kid. There's a lot of good kids out there, a lot of good nephews, a lot of good grandsons, granddaughters, nieces, and they should have a voice, that they shouldn't live in fear and walk around the streets worrying about if someone has a problem with somebody else, that if they get shot, it's just collateral damage. There's no such thing to parents that their child suffered collateral damage. We as all human beings, we love our children, we love our families, and we don't accept a law that would allow collateral damage to our family members. We raise them not to fear each other. We raise them to be good citizens in America, and we expect the law to be behind us and protect us. And that's what I wanted the law to do, is protect Jordan as we protected Jordan. I feel this Michael Dunn, he's got a minimum of 20 years on one count, another 20 years on another count, another minimum 20 years on another count. So he's going to learn that he must be remorseful for the killing of my son, that it was not just another day at the office. My son will never be just another day at the office where I can leave the scene and be stoic. Because you know what? We're not stoic. We've cried our eyes out to you, the press, and everybody else. To the world, me and Lucy and our families and our supporters have cried our eyes out because we don't care about being stoic, because we have love in our hearts, and we want you all to love and have love in your hearts. And I thank you for coming here today.
Think of the courage after that verdict was announced to step up in front of the television cameras and the microphones and the reporters and say those words. It's really powerful, touching.
Incredible poise by the parents of Jordan Davis. Let's go now to Channel 4's Vic Michelucci, who is outside the courthouse getting reaction. Vic?
Tom and Mary, it's really incredible how strong Jordan Davis's mother and father have been throughout all of this. This shooting death happened 450-something days ago. They say it has been difficult. Every day has been a struggle, but you know what? They have stayed strong because they say it is so important to set a good example for the whole community, especially our youth. And they say they've been trying to be good people, trying not to lash out. At times they have been very emotional, but they have done the right thing. And that's really what they have been trying to show to everybody as they have made this very long journey, a long journey which we have been alongside them with for much of the way.
I have a big hole in my heart.
This is the first time the world heard from Ron Davis, November 24th, 2012, the day after his son Jordan was shot and killed.
Your worst fears come is when the doctor comes in the room with a police officer and with the chaplain. And my heart just sank.
When they told him his son had passed away, his father couldn't believe it until he saw Jordan for himself.
And they said it's a murder investigation, so they didn't want me to touch the body. And I told them, I said, "Are you kidding?" And I hugged my son and I kissed my son on the forehead.
That was the beginning of the mourning stage for the 17-year-old's parents. But Ron Davis and Lucy McBath have been determined to do good ever since.
The gun culture, the gun violence has gone beyond any boundary of race.
They've toured the country, crusading on Capitol Hill, and have appeared on nearly every television network around, begging for justice for Jordan.
The most difficult, challenging year of my life, the most painful year of my life. But at the same time, the advocacy and everything that we've been given to do has been able to help me walk out my grief. But I do not wish this on any parent. And that's why I believe, Ron and I are fighting so hard to make sure that no parent, no family ever has to suffer this way.
Ron, who lives in Mandarin, and Lucy, who lives in Atlanta, have organized marches in their son's honor and pushed for an end to violence.
In the back of my mind, I'm saying this is the Attorney General of the United States, and he's speaking to me, and he said, your son's going to get justice. He said, I have no doubt that your son is going to get justice.
Jordan Davis, the Wolfson High School student whose parents said had a love for life and a smile no one could wipe off his face. He wasn't perfect, but his family says he was still a very good kid. Jordan has gained international fame since his death. Hundreds of thousands of people have kept his name alive on the internet. There's even a tribute song from rapper J City. Jordan's family and friends know no matter how much support they get, it won't bring him back. But all the love certainly helps as they deal with the pain.
I think with his death, he has become even more alive to us, even more alive than we ever imagined.
And Jordan's mother, Lucy, who you just heard from there, actually lives in Atlanta, like I said, but I can't tell you how many times I've actually seen her at